This is the debate that ends every cookout, fried or grilled. Everyone already has a gut answer, but we're going to settle both questions properly today. Which one actually tastes better, according to the actual chemistry happening on the meat, and which one is actually healthier, which has a much less obvious answer than you'd think. Grilled isn't quite the free pass people assume. First though, the history of how we even got these two cooking methods is a genuinely good story. Let's start there. Fried chicken's origin is a real cultural collision. Scottish immigrants brought a tradition of deep frying chicken in fat, unseasoned, dating back to at least a 1773 English cookbook recipe and a Scottish diarist's account from 1773. West African culinary traditions, carried by enslaved people brought to the American South, added the seasoning, the spices, and the technique of frying in palm oil. Those two traditions merged into what we now know as Southern fried chicken. The first known American recipe appeared in 1824 in Mary Randolph's cookbook, The Virginia Housewife. Here's a fact worth sitting with. Enslaved and later segregated black women built some of the earliest independent food economies in America by selling fried chicken, as far back as the 1700s. It went from a dish born out of severe constraint to, a century later, a global fast food empire. Colonel Sanders founded Kentucky Fried Chicken in the 1930s. And today fried chicken is so globally popular that KFC is famously eaten as a Christmas Day tradition in Japan, thanks to a marketing campaign from the 1970s that stuck permanently. Grilling's history is almost the opposite story. There isn't one really, because it might be the oldest cooking method on Earth. Cooking meat directly over open flame predates written history entirely. The one fun linguistic nugget, the word barbecue comes from barbacoa, a term used by indigenous Caribbean peoples for a raised wooden cooking frame, which Spanish colonizers adopted and carried into English. One is ancient and universal. The other has a specific, documented, and pretty remarkable origin story. Now, the actual questions. Both fried and grilled chicken get their signature flavor from the same core chemistry, the Maillard reaction, a reaction between amino acids and sugars that happens anywhere meat hits high heat. It's responsible for the seared crust on a steak and the golden color on a French fry alike. So the browning equals flavor effect isn't unique to frying. What frying adds is texture. Submerging chicken in oil at 325 to 375 degrees cooks the entire breaded surface evenly and fast, and the batter's starch dehydrates into a crunchy shell, while the interior stays moist, a textural contrast grilling structurally can't replicate. Since a grill only contacts the meat's surface directly rather than surrounding it in heat, that combination of crunch, fat, and salt is also precisely the kind of flavor profile food scientists describe as hitting the bliss point, the balance of fat, salt, and texture that maximizes craveability. Grilling isn't the bland option, though. Direct flame contact creates char compounds and lets smoke particles settle into the meat, adding a layer of bittersweet smoky complexity that frying never produces, since fried food never touches an open flame. It's a completely different flavor axis. Less about crunch, more about depth. Purely on craveability, fried chicken wins for most people. The crunch-fat-salt combination is engineered, essentially, to be irresistible. But better and more craveable aren't quite the same thing, and plenty of people genuinely prefer grilled chicken's cleaner, smokier flavor. This one's closer to a personal call than the health question is. A 100-gram serving of skinless grilled chicken breast runs about 165 calories and 3.5 grams of fat. The same size portion of breaded fried chicken breast runs roughly 230 to 300 calories, with 12 to 19 grams of fat, largely because the breading absorbs oil during cooking, sometimes up to 10 to 20% of its final weight in oil alone. Grilled chicken wins this round clearly. Fried chicken, especially fast food or restaurant versions, is frequently brined and double seasoned before cooking, which pushes sodium well past 500 milligrams per serving in many cases. Grilled chicken, by default, is often lower, but only if you're not drowning it in bottled marinade or barbecue sauce, both of which can be surprisingly sodium-heavy themselves. Grilled wins by default, but this one depends more on preparation than most people assume. Here's the nuance that usually gets skipped in this exact debate. Cooking meat at high heat, including grilling, produces two compound classes: heterocyclic amines, HCAs, which form when amino acids and creatine react at temperatures above 300 degrees Fahrenheit, and polycyclic aromatic hydrocarbons, PAHs, which form when fat drips onto flame and the resulting smoke deposits onto the meat. The National Cancer Institute has identified HCAs and PAHs as mutagenic in laboratory studies, and observational research has linked frequent consumption of well-done or charred meat to increased cancer risk. One study specifically found daily consumption of very well-done grilled or roasted chicken associated with a striking 80% higher risk of a lymphoma subtype. To be clear about what this evidence actually shows, these are observational associations, not proven causation, and the risk scales with frequency and char, not with grilling occasionally. But it's a real enough signal that the National Cancer Institute and major cancer research bodies publish specific guidance on it. The fix is simple and well supported. Marinating meat before grilling, especially in acidic, herb-heavy marinades, has been shown in at least one study to reduce HCA formation by up to 90%, and trimming visible char before eating cuts your exposure further. So grilled is just automatically the healthy choice isn't quite right. It's the healthier choice most of the time, but frequent charred, well-done grilling carries its own trade-off that fried chicken, oddly, doesn't share in the same way. Quick practical notes for both. If you're grilling, marinate first, keep temperatures moderate, and cut off any hard char before eating. If you're frying, air frying uses roughly 70 to 80% less oil than deep frying while keeping most of the crunch. And it's a genuinely solid middle ground if you love the texture but want fewer calories. So, both questions answered honestly. Taste. Fried chicken wins on raw craveability. The crunch and fat combination is built to be irresistible. Grilled wins on flavor complexity if you actually prefer smoky and clean over crunchy and rich. That part really is a preference call. Health. Grilled chicken wins on calories, fat, and usually sodium. That part isn't close, but it's not an unconditional win. Char it every time, eat it daily, and you're trading one health risk for a different one. The actual healthiest version of either dish is the boring answer: grilled chicken, lightly marinated, without heavy char, most of the time with fried chicken as the occasional fully enjoyed exception, not the daily habit. Neither one is the villain here. Frequency and preparation matter more than the cooking method alone. If you like this video, hit that like button, share it to your friends, and subscribe if you aren't already. It really helps the channel grow. Hit that notification icon so you won't miss on future contents. You might also like these videos. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.